Hey guys, this is Delphine here, and this is the Ajoche Recap Series Week 7. So, what's been happening? We talked about the illness that has ravaged Ocholoje, but guess what, guys? Everybody's fine now. Guess who did this? Alechenu, aka Ashes. I really don't know how this kid came up with this potion. Like, he just thought about it and assumed that it would work, and it did work. He's a pretty smart kid. So he decided to mix snake venom rather, with some herbs, and he came up with the bright idea by himself. I don't know where that came from. This is the same kid that accidentally saved the king at some point. So it seems like the gods, in quotes, are with him. The kid is special. Like, he's not a normal kid. So let's leave it at that. Anyway, speaking of recovery, guess who else has recovered? The king has finally recovered, and it's like his eyes have cleared. More like his eyes have become even more clouded, because the jazz that our auntie Ofun has done for this guy is done. Like, the jazz is conk. She has finally gotten him. She has him by the cajones, if you know what I mean. Like, she really has this guy. Baba is now in love and talking about how he wants to make her one of his concubines. Really, 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 dude? Really? Concubines? Like, the queens you have, the wives you have, they're not enough for you. You now want to take in this stranger who nobody knows where she came from, who claims she's from Ufam. You don't take her into your palace. Okay, well done, king. So now that Uncle General has found out that the king is interested in Ofun, obviously he's jealous, and he saw at some point Kerosene holding the king's arm and whatnot, and he confronted her. This is a married man we're talking about. When we say men has come now, people will be complaining. Okay, well, not all men has come, but men has come, sha. It's not me that said it, it's Twitter people. So go after them, not me. Meanwhile, in the midst of all this drama, the king had a light bulb moment to name an heiress, because he realized that after the sickness scourged the land, the heir that he had named, which was the general's son, could have died, and the kingdom would have been left without an heir. So he decided, at least one of my princesses should be an heiress, right? Guess who he named heiress? Ene. Guess who Ene is? Remember the queen that died, played by T-Boss? Ene is T-Boss's daughter. Of course, all the other queens are upset because, I mean, this woman is dead, and even in her death, she's still, in quotes, ruling over them. She's cast a huge shadow over them. There are other princesses. Why did the king choose Ene? Speaking of Ene, Ene didn't fall ill during the plague, but her slave girl fell ill, her maid, and she has decided to take care of this girl. This is the same girl that she fought with from the beginning, when she was giving a maid, threw her yam and red oil at her. But now they're friends. After she heard the story of Queen Amina, she got curious, and she and her maid became friends. So now she's taking care of her, she's bathing her, she's feeding her. And then the queen mothers find out, and they're really upset because she's a princess and she could have caught the sickness from her maid, but she decided to stay. Such a heartless princess. Such a selfless girl. I'm proud of her. Also, one of the queens who they thought was ill, turns out they eventually thought she was pregnant. Turns out she's not actually pregnant. They realized that she has passed the age of childbearing, the childbearing age, and it's possibly that she is back to being ill. They don't know what the illness is. It's nothing like the plague, nothing like the scourge. So I really don't know what that story arc is, or what her problem is, why that queen is ill, but I guess we'll find out this week. I also realized that we didn't get to see the Abo boys, the 4 Abo boys who have been traveling in the bushes. I really want to know when their action starts, really, because I want to see fight, I want to see blood, I want to see gore. I mean, the show started with all of that. I want to see more of that. I promise you, I'm not morbid or in any way violent. I just like to watch action, that's all. At the end of week 7, we see the Akpa, that's the new priestess who has been named, that little girl, the 8-year-old girl, who's the head healer's daughter. We see her burying something in the bushes. I don't know what that is. We'll also find out this week. Anyways, guys, I think that's a wrap for week 7. I'm curious to see what happens this week, especially with the general finding out that the king, the king is in love with his somebody that he also is in love with. I want to see how that plays out. Maybe one day the general just wake up and decide today is the day that the king dies. I mean, it's a woman that caused the Troy War, so you can imagine that Ajoche is about to go upside down because of a woman. Like, no surprises here. We are just powerful creatures like that, okay? All right? Okay. Don't be violent, Del. All right, guys. Once again, it's the Delphinator here. Do not forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and share this video. Until the next one, toodles. Toodles.